Right, thought we might have a look at the holes and where we go next. So here's 2 holes drilled, ready to take the wiring. Don't let that confuse you. I don't mean you need 2 holes. Just imagine you have the 1 hole in the centre of your ceiling ready to take your wiring. They look lovely and neat from this side. This is the side you've drilled from. But when you get to the other side, you'll find that being MDF, what will happen is you can barely see the hole. It's all plugged up with rubbish that's been pushed through, and it's got a surface on it here with all bits and bobs all over it. So basically you take anything you like, anything that comes to hand that you've got that will do the job, the other end of the drill, whatever it takes, and just keep working it through that hole and pushing the stuff away and pulling it away with your finger on the other side. Whatever it takes to tidy that up. This is going to be your ceiling surface here, but don't worry too much that you're mucking up your ceiling. It really won't matter. I keep saying you're going to have either a ceiling rose or a light fitting cover or whatever that's going to go over that hole, and we'll tidy it up. So eventually you'll come to a neat hole like that on both sides, okay, on your floor and on your ceiling side. So you need to thread your wires through that. To do that, you've got to take the plug off, obviously. You can't get that through that tiny hole, clearly. So I don't honestly know why they have the plugs on them when, you know, somewhere this has got to go through a hole, but what do I know? Come with plugs on. So to do that, you do this. You take out the pins. There's 2 little brass pins. I know I'm using pliers, it isn't necessary. You can do them with your fingers, or in my case quite often with my teeth. So you pull those out. They can be more difficult than that sometimes, but they were nice and easy. There's wires through here that have been pushed into those holes to make contact with those brass pins, which makes contact in the socket to pick up electricity. You just pull those free by just pulling them up and pull your plug off. You've now got a piece of wire like that to go through your holes. You'll find, obviously, I keep saying obviously and it probably isn't obviously, but you'll find that with 2 splayed out pieces of wire like that, it's not going to be very happy going through a hole. Your best bet is to just roll them around a little bit in your finger till you've got a sort of single piece of wire. Anybody who's ever sewn, it's the same sort of principle as tidying up your thread to make sure it's got no frayed ends on. And it really is that simple. Find your holes, poke it through, and there it comes through your ceiling. It'll be the other way up, of course. So your light is here. There's your light going up in place. I'm not going to stick this one down because clearly this isn't where it's going to go. But it would then, you would stick it back off and stick it down, and you have a light in place with your wires on your ceiling, ready to run through your grooves to the back of your house. When it's run through the grooves and to the back of your house, you go back to putting the plug back on again. So it's just a reverse of what you did before. You're going to try and separate those wires out again, poke them back through your plug. I may not do this for you on camera because I find it really fiddly to do, and in fact I don't do it. I do a completely different system which I will show you further down the line. But you've got it back through the plug, you push the exposed wire back into the holes, which I haven't done very well because, as I said, I find it quite fiddly to do, but if you had done it very well it would be like that. And pull that back through till it's comfortable, and then put your pins, push your pins back in again. So you're just reversing what you did before. Push the wire through, split it into 2, put each of those arms into each of those holes, right and left, and push the pins in over that to hold it in place and to make the contact like that. I repeat, I don't use these plugs, so for me, once the plug is off, it stays off, and I have a different system which I'll show you later on. So okay, so that's your hole. That's how to get your wire through your hole. You've got your grooves to lay your wires down in. You've got a sticky pad on the back of your light. Here, most of your commercial lights come with this sticky pad, and if it doesn't, you could always use ordinary white sticky pads that you can buy, and that will stick on your ceiling. Again, I don't use those because I don't like the way it makes it stick off proud of the ceiling. So I actually take those off and I just use glue. So I will just actually, when it comes to doing mine, I'll put a little glue around the rim there, some super glue gel around the rim, very, very carefully, otherwise it will show on your ceiling. And hold that in place until it sets, and that will be my light fixed up. Okay, see you again.